Do you ever wonder how great leaders in the community make things happen? When they encounter new, unexpected challenges like a pandemic, how do they continue to successfully make an impact? Welcome to That Sounds Terrific, the podcast that connects you with these amazing people. Get insights on what they do to meet their goals, find out how you can help them in their mission, and learn their methods so you can be more successful at what you do. Welcome to That Sounds Terrific with host Nick Koziel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of That Sounds Terrific. I'm your host, Nick Koziel, and joining to me today is Paul from Sagar Brewworks, and he is the co-partner, owner, brewmaster extraordinaire of Sagar Beer. So welcome to the show, Paul.
Thanks. It's great to be part of this program.
Yeah. Well, I got the chance to speak with you a few weeks ago over an amazing beer. And I thought it'd be great to have you on the show. And I wanted you to start by telling us just a little bit about how Sagar formed and how this all came to be.
It goes back a ways. We're in our fifth year, but my current partner in the business, we like most small brewers and brewery owners came from the home brewing world. Mm-hmm. And you might not know, but Rochester has one of the largest and oldest homebrew clubs in the country.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. We were founded in 1979. So we have over 100 members, very active club. They do meet, by the way, if you're interested in homebrewing, learning about that. We do meet at Sagar every month, second Tuesday.
Very nice.
But anyway, Don Tuminelli, my partner, we had been homebrewing friends. We never homebrewed together. Well, no, that's not true. He had been at my house once. But over the years, this go back to the 90s and 2000s or so, we had known each other through the club. And so we got together after we had both were at should we say, junctures in our beer lives. I had just separated from my partner of a previous brewery. Partnerships can be challenging, and this one didn't work out. So I still wanted to be in the beer business. I just needed to. I was thinking of starting again with somewhere, and at the same time, I had been doing a little mentoring. We can get into some of the mentoring that I do, but I was mentoring Don. He and his brother were part of if you remember, the Livingston County Challenge. Mm-hmm. Livingston County didn't have any breweries, and they felt bad. They're looking at Monroe County. It's like, hey, what about us? So they had this contest, and they were giving out grant money if to start a brewery in Livingston County. Anyway, so Don and his brother were one of the finalists, and I was helping them write their business plan and all that kind of stuff. So they didn't end up getting a grant, but so he's kind of bummed about that. So what do we do now? And we met over a beer, and that's how Sagar got started. We said, let's go do it. Let's start a brewery. Let's start another one, at least for me.
Yeah.
And so that's how we got going. And so as I said, I've been a home brewer for a long time, since the early 90s and stuff. And home brewers are. This gets into our community connection. Beer and brewing, brewers were always, I found, very giving and very sharing. Mm-hmm. When I joined this club that we came from, I didn't know much about making beer, but my beers got a lot better by talking to people, and they would be just giving away their secrets of sorts. We're really secrets, yeah. but so this obligation emerges in the scene, in the homebrew community, that you learn from others, and then when someone shows up in the club for the first time, you pass it on. So there's this collegial sharing, and it honestly, it extends into the commercial community. You would find that most of the brewers and brewing owners are still very sharing. It's getting a lot more competitive now, but still there's a lot of giving back and sharing among each other. It is just part of the DNA of the craft beer movement. Mm-hmm. And so Don and I still have that wiring, should we say. And so teaching education of consumers and helping other breweries who are starting up. We get requests to help out, give knowledge and things like that. That's all about what we do. And so as I say, beer is just that one of those things that you just want to share what it is, how you made it, where you came from, and all that stuff. It is very, very built into everything. But we push it pretty hard through classes and other mentoring that I do nationally. Actually, there's a national trade association that I mentor with, helping start up breweries and things like that. So, and the same with the community. You know, the more they know about what we do and how we do it, the more likely they're going to appreciate it and look for us to help them in other ways and things like that. So that's a long-winded answer how we actually got going. But here we
Yeah.
are.
This
You know,
is
year 5, we survived COVID. We feel pretty good about that.
yeah.
So
That's an amazing story. Surviving, COVID is amazing for a lot of smaller companies too. And honestly, the podcast started during COVID. This podcast, and one of the questions that I was asking usually was, how did you pivot and get through COVID? I haven't asked that very often in the last couple episodes or even the last season. But what I will say is that, you touched on one of the guiding, I guess, principles of the podcast of, how you're connected and stay, involved in the community and give back. And doing that, like, in a way, you're helping competitors come in and compete against you. But I think it's really great that you're offering up your knowledge. And before we even started recording, we were talking about how, beer can be a terrific thing. And that it is for everyone. And I think that's just a great outlook that you have, and you feel that presence when you walk into Sagar. You feel like you're kind of part of the family. Everyone is welcoming. You got dogs coming in and being around. It's a great it's a great place to be.
you probably didn't notice. We don't push it very hard, but we we ran into as we were developing the brewery, we ran into a saying by an Irish poet, William Yeats, and he was describing, his favorite bar in Ireland, and his statement was, there are no strangers here, only friends who have not yet met, and we definitely live that.
Yeah.
Our coasters say that. We have signs of
Yeah,
that. I
you
mean,
have a
that's really
sign up
it.
over to the kitchenette, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. As you know, we have this big long, we call it the long bar, German style table. It's designed to have people to meet and talk, and not just sort of stay in their corner. Though we do have this nice little cozy corner too,
Yeah.
where you can
Yeah.
get away. I mean, we only recently, here we are in our 5th year, got a TV, and it's not on, as you know, it's not on very often. We just don't, that's not really part of what we're trying to do. So, we want to be a community gathering place. I mean, taverns were always that way. And that's where you went for the news and to meet people and get to know other people and things like that. So we're trying to just foster that also.
Yeah. Well, it definitely comes across. I definitely feel that coming in. My first experience at Sager was actually for a friend's band that was playing, and she kind of let us know the schedule, and that was the first time I actually saw them play, which was the Pearls band. I mentioned that to you
Yeah,
before.
right. That's right. Yeah.
And it was just super super cool to kind of come in and have that ambiance, have great beer, great food, and you meet people there, which is just awesome. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no question in there. I just a statement. But I do want to I do want to touch on that. Like, how did that part of your business develop, right? Including entertainment. You've got trivia night, you've got other things. How did that kind of come to be?
Well, I guess in the design of the place, I guess it's sort of very thoughtful design of what was the vibe, what did we want it to seem like? I guess for me, personally, I think Don bought in pretty early. My before beer, I worked for Eastman Kodak, and I got a chance to travel around the world a bit. And if you ever go to these German beer gardens or these little pubs in England, it's like that, it's they're very conversational. They're very cozy little spots, and people are you meet. It's amazing the people you meet, and it's we're trying to be like that, sort of Americanized version maybe or
Hmm.
so, and we're trying to duplicate that sort of feeling when you go into these little watering holes that are the center of the community, and people enjoy going there for not just about the beer. There you have it. I mean, or the food. It's that experience. It's the environment. We call it the three-legged stool of beer, food, environment.
Hmm.
Create it, and that seems like a fun place for to run a business.
Yeah. No, I you really feel it when you come here. It's that great environment. So I do want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about other ways that you give back. It was one of the things that drew me at the bar, was a specific beer that you were brewing to help a charity. And it caught my eye, and that's what caused me to kind of reach out and just, well, I want to hear more about that. So can you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about how that
we
happened?
have we called it sorry, the charity beer program, and it was just an idea that we came up with at how to really build a more of a partnership with a charity. Um, as a lot of businesses do, we get requests
Hmm.
for donations, be a part of a golf tournament, raffles, and galas, and all the time. And I mean, we're small business. We don't have a lot of resources for donations, so we were looking for a way to as I say, it's a partnership, meeting the charity more halfway. I mean, honestly, if someone comes in and says, "Hey, we're having a auction. Would you like? Could you make a donation?" And a lot of times we say yes. We're getting more particular now, but they're going to get maybe $30 of swag or something like that. And so I'm not really raising much money for them. Maybe they
Hmm.
get 54 or something like that. It seems really small.
Yeah.
So we're trying to think of what's a program where maybe we put more effort in and the charity puts more effort in and we can raise more money for them. I mean, other than just writing them a check, a big check, which I can't do, right? So,
Yeah.
it basically entailed a little more of skin in the game for the charity. And so that's where it came from. So the idea is, for a charity, we will develop a custom beer. It can be custom, doesn't always have to be, but it usually is custom beer and on a label. And obviously, we produce it, and it's sold through our tap room because we have liquor license to do it. Because
Hmm.
charity can't really do that legally, and so we have a way to collect the funds, etc. But bottom line, the charity goes and sells this to their crowd, to their donors, everybody they can, and that's the skin in the game part. They have to be salespeople,
Right.
and the more they sell, the more they can raise. It's like maybe a Girl Scout cookie model or something like that, I suppose. You know, we don't take make much money on it. We're not trying to. We make a little bit, but we want to give like 40, 30, 40% of the take to them.
Sure.
And so they could raise a few $1,000s and or something like that. And for some charities, that's a lot of money. Other charities, that's peanuts. That's really small. So that's what the program's about. So we've done it maybe, I don't know, up to maybe 10 times now, various charities. It's not for everybody, because if your charity doesn't have the resources, the time, effort, interest, to get out and sell beer, then it doesn't work, and it ends up actually costing us money because we're we make a commitment. Our latest one is the name of the beer is called Go
Hmm.
Fetch Pale Ale. It's for the North Paw Pet Rescue,
Hmm.
and so it's for sale now. Actually, you go to our website, you could buy 4 packs. Just pre-order the 4 packs. It'll be the beer's done. The beer's, well, not almost done. It's made, and it's going to be released on the 26th. So if you have it pre-ordered, you can still come and buy it anytime after that. $20 a 4-pack, and to say they get $7 or $8 of that goes directly to the charity. So it's a kind of fun thing to do. I know we've done it for schools, we've done it for other charities, Gigi's Playhouse, Holy Childhood School,
Hmm.
Miracle Field, SEAC Tool Shed, the Veterans Outreach Center. I don't even remember all of them, but we do a couple a year, and it's very unique. I don't know anyone else that does it exactly this way, but again, we don't really gain much from the beer side of things, but we get to know the charity, and we get to tell our story, and maybe we get some new customers out of it, because those donors maybe haven't heard of us, and then they come in to pick up the beer, whatever. We can tell our story and things like that. So, and as I say, the charity could raise some decent money. So it's a fun thing. It's not the only style program we have. We have another one. It's a smaller one. I'll just touch on it. It's called Thank You Thursday. So the idea of Thank You Thursday is, again, it's a partnership of sort where a charity will come in. We will put a table aside. They could put a booth up, and they can pitch their charity to the customers. They can make their pitch, so to speak, whatever they need. So that night, Thank You Thursday, we're donating $1. It's at least $1 from every pint sold to the charity, and so it's just we set aside that Thursday. It's usually once a month, and we pick any charity that comes to us. Yeah, we'll do it. We're in. So as you see, they have to make a little effort to come and pitch themselves, and we're willing to chip in, chip in from the sales, and so yeah, and people respond to that. They a lot of people, extra dollar, they can cough that up easily, or they're willing, not extra dollar. We're giving them the $1, but they'll get an extra pint. Sorry, they'll get an extra pint, knowing that that $1 will go to them. Things like that. Once they hear about it, you know what I mean. People are bombarded with messages about a lot of worthy causes, and how do you sort out which ones and things like that. So yeah, with just the little things we can do to get these small, particularly these small charities, in a better shape, financially. A lot of them, did not do well during COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs and things, so they have extra money to spend and things like that. So that's been pretty successful. I mean, we don't do it all the time. We look for, we're not that picky about the charities. If they want to put the effort in, we're in. We want to do it with them. So
yeah.
So anyway, that's Thank You Thursday.
Yeah, I think I think both programs are pretty cool and unique. One of the other things, like when I came to see you, I know that the charity was there, sort of helping with the brewing process or experiencing the process. So can you talk a little bit about that too? Because I think that's something that's super
again,
cool and unique.
Remember I said it's about building this partnership, this connection with the charity. So that was Brewing Day. And so the charity came with their dogs too. I think they had some dogs earlier, and they were helping with the brewing, so they can see what we're actually doing, and we can get to know them a little better. And they'll be back on the 25th or 26th to help with canning. So that's where it really gets exciting, because they can see the end results, taste it,
Sure.
really, too. That kind of thing. Help label the cans, of all that stuff. So
yeah, if you need extra help, I'm probably available.
Okay, all right, we might. We'll see. We'll see. That reminds me another. It's not a charity element of sorts. It is. It's something we call Community Brew Day, and it's about once a quarter. We open up the brewery. We brew on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and people can come in and see what brewing beer is like, and they can help out. They get free beer if they give me a hand. Things like that. I don't think any other brewery does that. It's a good way to say, hey, it's like a big bakery here. Come in and see what happens. and learn. So again, this idea of giving it away, sharing knowledge, nothing could be, lost, by doing that. It's all
Yeah.
positive, that type of thing. So we do get, always get some home brewers who are really curious, but other people that just stop by and, if there's again, if a charity wants to, um, you know, to have just a brew day as a way, as a fundraiser event, the kind of thing, we have done those too.
Yeah.
That occurs every now and then. So,
So
but
yeah,
yeah,
I'm so glad I'm talking to you, because like there's like, a lot here that you do. There's a lot that you are passionate about, right? Um and I'm sure that you get a number of your customers because of how giving you are. Um and that's kind of like, it is rare nowadays. Like I feel like there's less of that, of the true givers. And I just wanted to kind of stop and thank you for that, because
you're welcome.
it is unique. You do have a very unique approach to business, and
It's part of, again, this ethos of beer. This it's hard to describe, the social aspect of it. I mean, it's a business, true. I mean, I have to be honest, it's a business, but oh, I lost my video there.
no,
Uh, it, it's it's still in the sense of business, but um, there you want to play the long game. Is how do you build those lifelong customers?
sure.
You have to make an investment of sorts. Investment. Maybe that's the wrong word. That is the wrong word. But that's how you have to think about it. I want customers who are with me for life.
Mhm.
I don't know whether you know this, but we have a mug club program, and we sell lifetime memberships. We want you to be with us forever, so it doesn't expire. So it's just another thing.
Yeah,
Trying to get customers and keep them forever, and it's yeah, I don't know. It's just how we think about it. It's not always about money,
yeah,
and not just about beer. It's about the culture. The beer culture is very fascinating when you go into the
we
history of it, and we're just trying to keep that going, I guess.
yeah. No,
People.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have nowadays they have a lot of choices in beverage alcohol, as they
Mhm.
say, and I think beer is a special place, and drinking a hard seltzer just doesn't get the same feeling.
I
Maybe something. Sorry, I don't want to
no,
offend the hard seltzer people, but I look at it differently. It's a
yeah,
very rich history and culture behind beer, and I like promoting that. So,
yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and I know that you have some alternatives in there too. It's not just beer that you
right,
sell, and I
right.
think that that's great too, because I've dragged my wife to breweries in the past, and beer is not always her thing. There are ones that she has found that she likes, and um, it's nice to have options, right?
Exactly. You mentioned one other thing. As I said, we feel like we're in the education business selling beer, and there's maybe 70 or 80 styles of beer in the world, and the average person's maybe had a few of them. So that's part of what we're trying to do is offer and expose people to beers. Find the thing you like, and if someone says I don't like beer, and they probably haven't had all the range of beers out there, and
Mhm.
that's our job. That's our job to find their spot, and maybe someday they'll become a beer drinker. They'll like beer better, and things like that. So you have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
And but
No.
you know, but I do acknowledge some people don't, and so we have those other things.
Yeah. No, that's great. And um I think that, going back to, how you mentor people and you're mentoring people in beer, is there anything else that you're mentoring in and being involved in the community? It just seems like you're doing everything. I don't know how you have time.
Well, well, it's part of it, part of running the business. So it's not like on top of it. It's part of it.
Yeah.
That's sort of important. Yeah, the mentoring I do. The generally the people I'm mentoring are not well. Some are local people trying to open breweries. So that's why. So most of the mentoring is startups, but the Brewers Association. It's a national trade group, and I'm one of the mentors in their program to help um, help people get breweries started and things like that. So I've mentored maybe 25 people over the last few years. Of course, it's all on Zoom all over the country,
Sure.
sort of sharing my stories and how I did it. And I stay mostly on the financial side of the thing, with strategy, brewing strategy, things like that. But again, it's that giving back part. Why not? Give
Yeah.
it away. So that's what we do. We just give it away. So I mean, you don't see it as these are really competitors, but to me, I want to grow the beer culture. I want to gain more beer customers, because we'll probably get a little piece of that eventually, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So um, that's how you want to look at it. There's not a zero sum game. You want to grow the idea of beer as a social lubricant and a fun thing to drink. And it's not just about our business; it's about everybody. So
Yeah. I'm a firm
yeah,
believer in sharing, and I think you get something out of that relationship too, because you can be inspired, even if it isn't to like create a new kind of beer, like working with someone who's really excited about starting their own brewery, or any new project that you've kind of walked those footsteps before. It kind of reignites that flame. It keeps you
oh,
honest,
right,
right?
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, when you as a educator, if you try to teach someone, you really have to obviously know what you're talking about. But just that act of trying to educate and inform, you have to review in your own head if it doesn't make sense.
yeah.
What I'm saying, is it all tied together? Oh yeah, okay, great. And then the obvious questions, you're like, why is that? I don't know, I better go figure that out.
Sure.
You can't explain something, and then you end up learning. That's how you learn. So teaching, it's very hard not to learn new things by teaching and mentoring. You always get new stuff. I mean, they say some of these people that I mentor, they have ideas of their business, and I get ideas for us and what we should be doing differently and things
Yeah.
like that. So it's always things to be learned.
Yeah.
Lifelong learning, right? That's the phrase. So
For sure. That's
right,
why I
right,
do what
yeah,
I do. And
yeah,
and I would
yeah,
say that like I've learned a lot from my interns and from students, right? They all know different things, have had different experiences. So
right,
as a
exactly.
teacher, keeping your mind open to learning from your students is
Got
also
it,
important.
got it,
I've
got it.
never been insulted. Like I've taught a couple classes and I've never been insulted when a student kind of raised their hand and challenged something that I said, or um offered up another alternative idea to what I'm teaching, because I don't know everything, right?
Right, right.
um
And yeah, and certainly in our business, you can't you can't be offended or about someone who doesn't like your beer or has a different view of beer than you do. I mean,
mhm,
that's everybody likes different things, and fundamentally, everyone's brain is wired to like different things. And as I said, our goal is to find the beer they like
yeah.
and understand why they like what it is, and that sort of thing. So I like my beers, but some are better than others. I'm
Yeah.
honest. They're not all world beaters, but anyway, it's all about your customers can be very helpful in sense of I think I'd rather take this versus that. We have a number of our regulars, our mug clubbers, who are very helpful in honest opinion. They're very articulate
Mhm.
about flavors and things, and they can be quite helpful. So
Yeah. Well, that's great, and it's
yeah,
great that you
yeah,
listen
yeah,
to that feedback. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I know I'm sure you get a couple crazies that give you feedback that you don't need to hear, and that
Yeah,
happens
well,
everywhere.
that's common. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what you don't want any feedback about your business. Don't open a business.
Yeah,
That's like,
that's true. It's
yeah,
funny because
yeah,
like I didn't realize that you had that club, and I'm definitely gonna take a look into that after we're done recording for sure, because and I've planted some hops plants in I have 25
oh, good.
acres on my
Oh,
property.
well,
I don't
yeah,
have
great.
25 acres of hops, but I planted
Yeah,
some
yeah,
because
that
with
would
the
be a lot of
intent of
hops.
maybe I'll brew someday.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
growing your own ingredients, especially hops. I mean, you should probably know this area is pretty good for it, good climate for it.
yeah,
But that's a whole nother kettle of fish, whole other thing. And there's the whole community of people who do it,
yeah,
and DIY equipment for drying and making the processing. It's a whole other. It's amazing, if you're into a hobbyist, you're into a hobby. There's always a community out there that's really into it.
yeah.
You can learn a lot from. So yeah,
Very cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
is there anything that you guys are doing or that I haven't asked about that you definitely want to share with the audience?
Oh, sure. So it's kind of a shameless plug, a little bit, a little bit.
That's okay.
That we my partner Don and I just took on a third partner.
Oh, very nice.
This was announced a couple of weeks ago. So Jeff Osborne, the owner of Stoneyard Brewing, is now part of Sagar Beer Works. So we are we're still, the two breweries are still separate. The beauty of these two breweries is they have a different style of beers, and we're putting them together in the tap room. So the tap room will be renamed to the Sagar Stoneyard Pub,
Oh, very nice.
and will be Rochester's first, Western New York's first too, dual brewery tap room. So it's, imagine you're going to that cozy place we've been talking about, but you can experience two breweries. So both Jeff and I, the brewers, will be there periodically. So you can meet both brewers,
Very
and
cool.
you can experience the full line of Sagar and Stoneyard beers all in one stop.
Well,
So yeah, so we're excited. So if you came in there now, you'd see our we have a lot more taps, and there's Stoneyard beers and Stoneyard cans and everything like that. Eventually some signage will be changed. So it's a fun change that came about. Stoneyard had lost their pub for some ownership changes and things like that. So Jeff never had a retail place that he could call home, and we had the capacity, etc. And we were looking for something new to try, something to help the business. And so that's how this new partnership developed, or additional partnership, I guess. So
I love
Sager
it.
Stoneyard Pub. So
That's
Sager
so
Beer Works
cool.
still exists as a brewery only, not as as a location. So it's just the pub is what's changing. Is not the beers we make or anything like that. The events and
Sure.
stuff.
Well, that is unique, and I think that
Yeah,
again, like, way to be innovative and open to ideas. Like, try something out, see how well
right.
it works. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that is awesome. And I love the openness. Again, it's like the openness and friendliness of your place. You've created such a great community, and why not try something like that? That's so cool.
yeah. I mean, I've known Jeff for a long time, and it's exciting that that he has a need, we had a need, we managed to work something out, and I think it's going to be a win-win. Everybody will. If you haven't tried Sager beers, but you like Stoneyard beers, you'll have an opportunity to do that. And yeah, again, even more than something for everybody, a lot more something for
Sure,
everybody.
sure,
So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the latest and greatest.
awesome.
So
Well, Paul, I really appreciate having you on the show. You sharing your very unique community, your beer, your passions, and what you do to give back. I think it's a terrific way to to celebrate Sager, and I really appreciate that. So thanks for coming on the show.
yeah, I enjoy it. As I said, I like talking about beer, and it's that social nature of it. And here it is, just you give me another opportunity to have a chat.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining us in another episode of That Sounds Terrific. Don't forget to check out the show notes and our website at thatsoundsterrific.com to find the contact information and the best ways to volunteer with the organizations that we feature. If you know someone that is doing terrific things and think they should be featured in a future episode, be sure to email us their name, contact info, and short description of what they're doing at thatsoundsterrific@gmail.com. If you like our show, give us a 5-star rating and give us some social media love by liking our Facebook page. That Sounds Terrific. Follow us on Twitter at Sounds Terrific too, and Instagram at Sounds Terrific. We love hearing your feedback on how to make our show sound even more terrific. Till next time.